Welcome to your 4 to 5. Eric Chilton here with Chad Silver and Lauren Coleman.
Thanks for watching us on WFMY News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and we're also on the News 2 app. It's Election Day, guys, and millions of North Carolina voters are deciding on several big races.
Yeah, polls close at 7:30, so time is running out to vote. In the meantime, we are your one-stop shop for all things midterms. Let's start with the biggest race on the ballot today, the fight for a Senate seat.
Congressman Ted Budd and former North Carolina Chief Justice Sherry Beasley are running to replace Senator Richard Burr. Last week, both candidates ramped up final support in our state. Budd stopped at Raleigh and Beasley visited Charlotte. Both discussed their top campaign concerns.
Well, my campaign's really been about let's deal with inflation, let's deal with crime, and let's deal with education. Let's give parents a say in their kids' education, because I imagine you all want to think that parents ought to have a say in their kids' education. Anybody here?
We know that when we stand together and when we see that folks are trying to take away the right to vote, we tell folks our vote really does matter. They wouldn't be working so hard to take away the right to vote if it didn't matter. The right to vote matters and we matter.
New data from Emerson College and The Hill shows half of voters support Budd and 45% support Beasley. Democrats have held both chambers of Congress and the presidency for 2 years. Our state is key in determining which party will have control.
But what does that mean? Our National Verified team explains one midterm election's impact, what goes on in Washington.
Democrats currently control the House and Senate, but that could change if Republicans gain 6 more seats in the House or 1 in the Senate. Both are possible this midterm election with every House member and a third of senators on the ballot. But it's not all or nothing. Controlling just one chamber gives a party certain powers besides just the ability to block legislation. Whoever holds either chamber can form committees, which can hold hearings and order people to testify or provide documents so the party in power can launch investigations like the January 6th one or shut them down.
Besides the Senate race, there are lots of important local races on the ballot as well. U.S. House District 6 represents all of Guilford County, Rockingham County, and the city of Winston-Salem. That race is between Democrat Kathy Manning and Republican Christian Castelli. There are also several local sheriff's races, including Forsyth, Guilford, and Alamance counties.
Time is running out to cast your ballot. WFMY News 2's Ariel Cadet is live at a polling place in Greensboro. Ariel, how's the turnout been?
Yeah, the turnout's been pretty good. I talked with some people campaigning out here today that said that they've been here since this morning. They've seen a steady trickle of people coming in, probably the most amount of people in the morning before work and then in the afternoon during lunchtime. So they expect that to pick up in the next couple hours as people get off work and they head to the polls here. And I'm told that they're saying they're going to want that to pick up for sure for the people that they're campaigning for. And then voters I spoke with today as they were coming out of the location said that they were here today because of some hot button issues that have been really affecting our state and the nation as a whole. So they talked a little bit about that and why it was so important to focus on local elections as well. According to the NC Board of Elections, over 100,000 early votes have been cast in Guilford County. 28% of people in Guilford County have voted absentee. We've also reached out to officials with Guilford County Board of Elections to find out if there have been any issues, and we're still waiting to hear back to see how everything has been going, if it's been a smooth process as voters are coming in and out today. We're waiting to hear back from them later on, and we will have an update at 5 and 6. The polls are open until 7:30 tonight, so if you haven't made it out yet, you still have some time. You have to vote at your assigned precinct.
Oh, thank you so much for the update. With so many races on the ballot, there's a chance some results might take longer than others, and that's because elections are run state by state, county by county, meaning offices might have more staff or counting machines or fewer ballots.
Different offices also have varying rules. For example, if mail-in ballots arrive early, some states count them in advance, some start the morning of Election Day, and others wait until the polls close. States also have different deadlines for mail-in ballots and when results have to be finalized. So it's normal if some results take longer. That's how states ensure every vote is counted.
Regardless of when results start pouring in, we've got you covered every step of the way. Our election team coverage begins on WFMY Plus at 8 p.m.
We'll have political experts and real-time results on the biggest races. Then we will break down the biggest takeaways tonight at 11.
Polls are open until 7:30 tonight. If you're still planning to head out and want to know where to go, text the word vote to 336-375 or 379, 5775, and we'll text you the link right back to you.
Well, that fall weather is back. The last couple of days it was humid, it was warm, it felt like summer, but today things are certainly feeling like fall. In the 60s, you need the jacket. 64 in Greensboro, 67 now in Winston-Salem, 66 in High Point, a drastic change in temperatures as compared to yesterday where we were 16 degrees warmer in Greensboro. 18 degrees warmer in Burlington. Everyone is feeling the fall chilly weather today, and that's going to continue for the next several hours. That election day forecast continuing through tonight. The polls closing just before 8 p.m. 53 degrees is that fall down number that we're going to be feeling overnight. 51 continuing into the late evening, and then kick-starting our Wednesday with chilly 40s. As we go over the next several days, though, keeping an eye to the sky as weather conditions are going to begin to change. 61 is the forecast high for tomorrow. Few clouds around, but the real cloud cover builds in Thursday. So staying dry Tuesday, no real clouds for the rest of your day. Wednesday, we start to see a few more clouds moving in, especially in the late evening. Now Thursday, that's when more clouds are across our skies, and then the rain comes in late day Friday, continuing throughout your day on Friday. So late day Thursday into Friday, that's when the rain is, and I'll talk more about it coming up.
Monique, thanks. Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. First up today, we are learning new details about a disturbing child abuse case in Davidson County. Court documents show the 9-year-old boy found locked in a dog kennel last month was muzzled, waterboarded, and threatened with a pot. The Davidson County Sheriff's Office says it happened under the care of his father, Jonathan Starr, stepmother, Sarah Starr, and their aunt, Shelley Barnes. They are all in custody. We will have more details coming up at 5. Police have yet to find Johnny Porch, who they say jumped a fence at the Davidson Correctional Center yesterday morning. He was last seen wearing white pants, a green jacket, gray t-shirt, and a white shoe. If you see him, call police. Some parents at Mendenhall Middle School in Greensboro are not happy about a report card debacle. When report cards went out yesterday, a computer glitch allowed parents to see other child's grades along with their own. This is the report that one of the parents sent to us. You'll see it here in just a minute. We have covered the personal information, but parents were able to see students' names and their grades. On the left-hand side, there was a pull-down list of students, which led to a breakdown of their grades. It was like this for about 5 hours before the school took it down. Parents even had the ability to download the document. We reached out to Guilford County Schools for comment, but have yet to hear back. One person in California has won the $2 billion Powerball jackpot. Last night's drawing was delayed 10 hours because of a technical issue. Just a couple hours ago, we found out a single winning ticket was sold just outside of Los Angeles. This was by far the largest jackpot, topping the previous record by $500 million. In North Carolina, there were 300,000 tickets that had much smaller wins. Make sure to check your ticket. One person in our state even won a $1 million prize. That was out at the coast.
Wow, that's a lucky person.
Yeah, I mean, like,
very lucky.
It's one thing to have 3 of those tickets, you know, where you're splitting up amongst 3 people,
Right.
but one person.
Yeah.
I mean, the lump sum was just shy of $1 billion.
My God.
Their life has changed forever. I know
Forever.
we talk about what would you do if you won that much money. I'm not sure exactly what I would do
Yeah.
if I truly won that much
Call
money.
a financial planner
Yeah.
is the very first thing you do.
I think you call a lawyer first.
You
Yeah.
do both. You do both.
Both, yeah.
That's exactly what everybody always says. You have to get an attorney because you're going to have cousins coming out of the woodwork.
Yes, I'm your third cousin twice
That's
removed,
right.
married to your great niece or
That's
something
right.
crazy like that.
I see, and it's funny because, like, I'd be like, okay, nice to meet you, bye.
Right?
I mean, like,
But that's so much money. Maybe you could, you know, cut
that's
them
true.
a little something,
Yeah.
something.
Lauren, you will be surprised to hear something.
What?
I bought tickets yesterday.
You
See,
did. I
he tells
knew
you
it.
not to buy tickets because he's trying to win himself.
Yeah,
he wants to
right.
lower
No,
your chances.
It was
to
funny because I had no
increase
plans
his.
on it, and I was talking to my parents last night, and it was 8:30 at night, and I said, "Did you go buy tickets?" And they're like, "No, we forgot." I said, "We could buy them online."
Yeah.
And my mom said,
what I
"Well,
did.
are you planning to buy some?" I said, "Probably not." She was like, "Well, if you do, will you buy me one? Because I probably
Aw.
can't figure out the website in time." So I was like,
okay.
So
So
I,
you played for
I went on
her.
the website and I bought one for each member of my family and sent him the screenshot of all the numbers. And I said, here we go, guys. If we win, we're going to win as a family or we're going to lose as
That's
a family.
good.
And we did the latter.
So I did it online too, but we were all sitting around. We had guests over last night. It was the end of a surprise birthday party for a friend, and somebody went, Powerball. And then I went, oh, I didn't buy any. He goes, do it online. So I just went over there real quick and did it at like 11, I think,
Yeah.
10:30, something like
It
that.
might surprise you. I actually did not play.
What?
And you've been talking
and
all
I've been
week
telling
about-
people play, but I did not play.
Is
The
it
next
just because you
time.
forgot or you just
Kind
didn't
of
feel
just
like it?
forgot. Usually, when I do, it's just the fun of it. But I would never
Yeah.
tell someone not to do it because you never know. You
Never
could be
know.
that lucky person.
Never know.
Well, you may not be able to bank on winning the lottery, but you can bank on opportunities to pursue higher education. Two North Carolina schools partnered to help ease the financial burden for students seeking to earn bachelor's and Juris Doctor degrees. Salem College and Campbell University School of Law partnered to create the 3+3 Accelerated Dual Degree Program. Under this program, Salem College students can earn an undergraduate degree and a Juris Doctor from Campbell Law in 6 years rather than 7. Campbell Law School Dean Rich Leonard says this program will save students time and money.
We're all concerned about debt and student debt. So anything that can give you the credential that you want at less expense, I think is good for students, good for their families, and good for the communities.
The program is available to students of select majors at Salem College. Students will complete general education requirements and the coursework for their major. In their 4th year, they will begin studies at Campbell Law.
We want our students, the students who graduate from Salem College, to find careers that are careers of meaning, both for them as human beings and for their communities. It's important also for the communities in this area, and it's important for the vibrancy of higher education in North Carolina.
School leaders expect the program to roll out next fall. We'll be right back after this break. Stick with us.
Hey, it is that time of the year, a time when the Greensboro Science Center is aglow with the holiday spirit. Yep, the Winter Wonder Lights turns the attraction into really what's becoming a huge holiday tradition for the Triad. So I asked if they would let me help with the decorations. I was not expecting what was going to happen next. My buddy's here! So I bet you're wondering how all that happens, and it takes a lot. Becca here with this Greensboro Science Center going to help us. How do you do this? How do you get all this together?
Well, it takes about 3 weeks, but actually, Eric, you're going to help us.
Oh, okay, all right, fine.
But if we're going to do it, we're going to do it the right way.
No.
Yep.
Not Buddy the Elf.
Oh, it's
No.
actually Chili the Elf.
Chili the Elf.
Chili the
Tights?
Elf.
Oh, no.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to give a round of applause for Chili the Elf.
What has happened? All right, well, I got to do this. Let's decorate. Woo! We're going to make you look good, Clark.
I know him.
Okay, since she
You're welcome,
made
Dad.
me do this interview, poor Frank, I apologize. Nothing to be afraid of.
No worries.
But you're used to elves, right? Your company's
I
Spyro.
am.
Tell me about your cruise here.
Yeah, you know, so we create experiences to meet people where they are. So this kind of environment is perfect for us. We love to bring joy to everyone. So we deploy a team of elves. You know, we have decorator elves, AV elves, rigging elves, you know, high climbing elves that drive our lifts. So we just enjoy doing this, and it takes us about 2.5 weeks to set it all up. As you can see, we have thousands of feet of lights. We're probably at this point, year 3, close to 1 million, if not over 1 million lights. We have about 5 different audio zones, so as you walk the park, the music changes to the theme of the area.
Wow.
And we have several different shows that happen in the different areas. We're standing here in what we call the Polar Pond. So it's an area that we debuted last year, and we're making some enhancements this year, so we expect that it's going to be much grander this year and much more enjoyable for everyone.
And is it difficult for you to have a serious interview with?
Well, like I said earlier, I'm glad you're wearing that so people aren't focusing on me.
Thank you, Frank. We appreciate it.
I think I like
great.
the curly hair
You
on
like
you.
that, huh? Do you?
It was
I was
great.
not expecting that. I was
When
like, whoa.
When she pulled out the outfit, I went, no. And then she goes, yes, you are. Yes, you are. It is really cool. And they have like, you know, it is approaching, it may be more than that now, 1 million lights. I mean, that's how many there are out there. It is bigger each time. They have a contract with that company, and that contract grows each year. So it will get bigger and bigger.
And I mean, the Science Center is growing every year too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It is, you know, there are some video elements to it this year. There's, like, I don't know if you've been last year, which I love it, there's like this big sphere that plays videos on it in addition to
Nice.
lights. It's really cool.
And you were telling me during the story that the price is different than your general admission ticket, right?
Yes, it's a whole different thing, but I mean, I got to tell you, they transformed that place, and they actually shut down parts of the zoo for the next month or so just because of this, but it's that big.
It's so cool. It's
Yeah,
so cool.
awesome. They need to hire him to be out there.
Can you
wearing
imagine
the-
if I just walk
wearing
around
the elf
handing out
costume.
candy canes? It was fun. It was fun. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. Hope you find your dad.
Bye, buddy.
Nicole, that's the name of the tropical storm everyone across the southeast is buzzing about. This is a live look at the visible satellite showing you it's swirling out there just offshore, very uncomfortably close to the south and east. These are all the clouds associated with Nicole and that center well down to the south of this image. So that's a look at Nicole on the visible satellite. This track has been continuously showing Nicole taking this veer west and curving further northward. There have been some shifts in how far inland Nicole goes, but one thing has been consistent. Before Nicole makes landfall, it is expected to strengthen to a Category 1 hurricane and making a landfall somewhere along the southern portion of Florida before veering northward. So going to keep a close eye to this track as Nicole is expected to make impacts here in the Triad over the next several days. Some of the key things to make note of is that the rain is looking as though it will arrive late day Thursday, with rainfall total estimating upwards of almost 2 inches of rainfall between Thursday and Saturday morning. So we're talking wee hours of your Saturday. That's when things should end. And with the rain, we'll also see some stronger wind gusts. So it's going to be moving through on your Friday, making for a wet Friday, but then quickly exiting by Saturday, giving way to dry time for the rest of your weekend, but also very chilly weather as another cold front is expected to quickly sweep behind Nicole and bring in wintry feels next weekend.
The office dress code, well, as we have known it, depending on your age, is traditionally formal. Even the term business casual refers to the buttoned-up professional look we used to see in the office. But the expectation of office dress codes seem to be slipping away. Some companies relaxed their policies to lure workers back to in-person positions after the pandemic. Some blame the younger generation for taking it too far, even wearing crop tops. to work.
I don't know about wearing crop tops. I guess it depends on where you work.
Not
Maybe
in
if
our
you're doing
business.
some manual labor.
Maybe better for ratings.
Yeah, maybe. Are you saying actually wear a crop top to
Chad
work
and I are going to
tomorrow?
wear
Maybe
crop
we're
tops
going to wear
on
crop
Monday.
tops to work tomorrow.
I feel like in a business setting or a work setting, you don't need to wear a tux or a suit every day, but I think it is nice to look presentable, nice button up, nice slacks, and I feel like it puts everybody in a serious mindset, because if you come too relaxed,
In a crop
I feel
top.
like, or in
Yeah,
a crop
right.
top or a bathing suit or something like that, it makes you not as serious about the product, if that makes sense.
It's funny because I wear ties sporadically, not a lot, as you guys know. And I got into that habit, and like when I started in this business, there's no way you didn't wear a tie even if you were on the set. But the fact that we don't have to now, I like it for a while, but then once in a while I'm like, you know what, I kind of miss the look, you know? And I think for me, the dressier I am, the more confident I feel.
Yes, even when you're
Is
doing.
that true, or is that just me?
No, it's true. When you're doing like a phone interview, I usually get dressed up for those because it makes me feel in the zone, rather than if I had leggings on and a t-shirt. I just feel like I'm more relaxed.
I think it probably all depends on the type of environment that you work in, right? I
That's
mean,
true.
like, are you in a very casual office setting? Like, you know, you've seen pictures and videos of people who work at Facebook who are playing foosball, you know, in between jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, or is it like a more business style law firm, something like
I
that?
think as long as it doesn't look like you just rolled out of bed
Right, that's
and
exactly
you have
right.
pajama pants on, because I've actually seen that before, even in our
At work.
business. Yes, and I just think you should still, you know, take pride in your job and what you do. Like I said, don't have to wear a suit, but just look the part. Yeah.
I like wearing a suit to work.
I do too, it's fun.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.
Hi, my mic is on. Could you hear me? I couldn't hear myself. Mic 7. It's working.
Yo, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination.
Sorry, just kind of shakes the whole riser. McKinley, Roosevelt, Taft, Wilson, Harding, Coolidge, Hoover, Roosevelt, Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson.
Hello, hello, hello. We're outside of Raleigh, outside the Sheraton, downtown Raleigh. Everything sound good? Can you hear me okay?
Hi everybody, welcome back to the 4 to 5 Big Day today. Eric Chilton here with Lauren Coleman and Chad Silber.
Thanks for watching us on News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the WFMY News 2 app. As Eric said, it is a big day. It's Election Day, and millions of North Carolina voters are deciding on several big races.
The polls close at 7:30, so time is running out to vote. Meantime, we are your one-stop shop for all things midterms. Let's start with the biggest race on your ballot, the fight for a Senate seat. Congressman Ted Budd and former North Carolina Chief Justice Cheri Beasley are running to replace Senator Richard Burr.
We're on top of the big race and we'll bring you team coverage throughout the night. WFMY News 2's Kevin Kennedy is live with Beasley and Grace Holland is live with Budd. Let's kick things off with you, Kevin.
Yeah, guys, the day has finally arrived. Back 19 months ago, April of 2021. That's when Cheri Beasley formally announced that she would be running for North Carolina Senate. And here we are now, and today's the day. She should find out in about 4 to 5 hours whether or not she is, in fact, North Carolina's next senator. If she does, she is trying to make history. She'd be the third black woman elected to the U.S. Senate, only the 12th African-American overall, and certainly she would be the first here in North Carolina. It has been a contentious campaign between her and Ted Budd right now. Depending on the pollsters and who you're looking at, the separation certainly very narrow. Beasley hopes later on tonight she comes out on top. And if she does, it will certainly be because of her grassroots campaigning. We talked with her staff earlier today. Beasley has been out to all 100 counties here in North Carolina, taking a kind of a community conversation approach as she meets and greets not only folks from the urban sector all the way down to the city. Beasley expected to be here at some point tonight. She is expected to talk. We're going to be here all night. When she does, we will bring that to you live. For now, though, we're live in Raleigh. I'm Kevin Kennedy, WFMY News 2.
Kevin, thank you. Let's go to Grace Holland now covering Ted Budd. Grace, this could be a big night for him as well.
A very big night, and you can see they're setting up the stage here behind me to find out whether Congressman Budd will be giving a concession speech or an acceptance speech tonight. We're going to have to wait, of course, until polls close and potentially a little bit later, depending on how contentious and close this race ends up being. Budd has spent today campaigning around the Triad. Here tonight, we're in Winston-Salem, which of course is his hometown. We're at the Marriott in downtown. This is where his his election night party is going to be. But earlier he went to Mocksville. That's where he cast his own ballot today, and then visited some other stops in Mooresville and Lexington, just making a last-ditch pitch to voters about his campaign, which of course some of the big topics he's been running on has been the economy, and he says that he wants to fight for families and of course check President Biden's agenda. We will see how the voters feel about that coming up tonight when polls close at 7:30, and we'll keep you updated throughout the night.
Grace, thank you. New data from Emerson College in the Hill shows half of North Carolina voters support Republican Ted Budd and 45% support Democrat Cheri Beasley. Both Democrats have held both chambers of Congress and the presidency for 2 years. Our state is key in determining what party takes control in the future.
You might be wondering what that means. Our Verify team explains one way midterm elections impact control in Washington.
Every member of the House of Representatives is up for election, as they are every 2 years. Democrats currently hold the House, but Republicans only need to gain 6 seats to take the majority. They still wouldn't be able to pass many laws without control of the Senate or White House, but they would be able to block Biden's legislative agenda. Whoever holds the House can also kick off impeachment proceedings. They need a majority vote to send it to the Senate, where 2/3 of senators would have to vote to actually remove the president. Some House Republicans have already said they want to do that if they win the majority.
Now, besides the Senate race, there are lots of important local races on the ballot. U.S. House District 6, for example, represents all of Guilford County, Rockingham County, and the city of Winston-Salem. That race is between Democrat Kathy Manning and Republican Christian Castelli.
There's also sheriff's races across the Triad. In Guilford, there's incumbent Danny Rogers. He was sworn into office in December of 2018 and is a High Point native. Phil Byrd is his opponent. He's a Guilford County native who retired as captain for the Guilford County Sheriff's Department in 2014 after 30 years of service.
In Alamance County, incumbent Terry Johnson, who's served as sheriff since 2002, is up against Kelly White. He's a deputy chief of police at Winston-Salem State University.
Tyrone Scales is hoping to replace the current Rockingham County Sheriff Sam Page. And in Randolph County, Sheriff Gregory Seabolt is vying to keep his seat. Sean Walker is his challenger. Walker is a retired Defense Department transportation contractor.
And lastly, in Forsyth County, incumbent Bobby Kimbrough Jr., his opponent is Ernie Leyba. Kimbrough has served in law enforcement for almost 40 years and became sheriff in 2018. Leyba has worked in law enforcement across the United States, including the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office.
Well, 2 Wants to Know is giving you a way to get inside the numbers on each race. Of course, you've seen this big monitor, right? We use it all the time. But what it does for you on election night is really cool.
So as soon as the results start rolling in at 7 o'clock, or 7:30 when the polls close, you're going to get live updates, and this map will start to change. You'll be able to see which parts of the state are going for who. So take the Senate race, for example. I want to show you last time around what it looked like with Richard Burr when he was running against Deborah Ross way back in the day. I remember that in 2016. You can see which part of the state voted for who. Not only do you get that big picture, but we can drill it down tonight to each individual county. And you can see how far behind they are in that particular county. We can also get how they compare to the national picture. When you look at it, we will be able to see how they're doing compared to the Biden-Trump race in each individual county to see if they're pulling ahead or behind what we expect them to be. And that helps us know how things are going to head as we go into the night.
Right, and I like being able to see it county by county as well when you're looking at these Senate races for sure. Numbers tell part of the story, of course. We have 3 experts, though, joining us tonight to give those numbers even more context. So we've got Tom Little there from UNCG. We have Janae Adams, who is a money expert. You might know her as Debt Sucks University. Mark Hensley from AARP, North Carolina. And not only are we asking them questions, we want you to ask them what you want to know. So tonight, you want to text that number 379-5775 and put your question in. It's anonymous. This election discussion is from 8 until 10 o'clock tonight. It is our digital show.
I love that you guys do this because nobody else is doing this, right? I mean, you're able to connect one-on-one with people who have the questions, and you've got the experts to be able to get those answers.
Right, and I love the experts that we have lined up. Of course, you've got, the political scientist who's going to give you like that big overall, but Janae is going to give you that whole money thing, right? So student loans and all that kind of stuff, inflation, all that kind of jazz. And then we've got AARP who's going to give you kind of the thoughts on those who are 50 and above, what they're really going to the polls for.
And I love it because if you watch on just TV, you get the national stuff, right? Because the networks take over for much of the night. I mean, we do little snippets here and there. But if you watch on the WFMY Plus app, you can get all the local coverage. So we're going to be on top of those local races all night long through that.
And I love that you all have this digital set up in the newsroom.
Yes.
I mean, it's shiny, it's pretty, it's ready to go.
It is, and so you get to watch right online, various different ways. Let me get that out, because remember, elections are a team sport.
And again, our election team coverage begins on WFMY Plus at 8 p.m. Like Tanya said, we'll have political experts and real-time results on the biggest races. Then we'll break down the big takeaways on WFMY News 2 at 11.
And if you're still planning to vote, time is running out, but check out our election guide. Just text the word VOTE to 336-379-5775 and we will send you a link.
Well, if you're heading out to the polls after work, you have about 3 more hours roughly, and the weather conditions, well, you don't need to worry about them, as weather is going to continue to be nice for the next several hours. Well, fall nice, chilly and dry, as temperatures continue to drop off into the 40s by the late evening. We had a cold front that moved through earlier, and now we're dealing with high pressure. Moved through yesterday. Now we're all keeping a close eye to Nicole, as it's expected to upgrade to a hurricane over the next several hours, and then make a landfall somewhere along the Florida Peninsula, and then track further northward as a tropical storm. Over the next several days, because we have that high pressure and we have low pressure not too far away, and we're wedged right in between, we get stronger winds in our area over the next several days. And then when Nicole moves through, well, the winds pick up with that tropical system. So it's going to be an overall windy week. Starting with today, we've seen winds gusts out of the north and east, upwards of 20 miles per hour, and some locations nearing close to 30. As we go through the day on Wednesday, just about the same. We're still getting that very strong northeast wind, which is going to help keep things chilly, and that continues all the way through Thursday. Now the winds shift direction. You see they're now coming out of the east, and that's with Nicole getting closer and closer. Now the winds, they don't take a break. They just change direction, and as they change direction, our air changes. At first we're getting them out of the northeast for the early part of the week. That's bringing in that chilly northeast air. Once they shift out of the east and even out of the south and east, we're going to start to get more humid air building back in for your midweek. And you can see they're coming out of the south and east Friday when the cold gets really close. We're getting wind gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour, some places even stronger than that. Your Friday being a humid, warm day with temperatures in the upper 60s and winds picking up.
So the question is, do you want to score some free football tickets for your family? I had you at free, didn't I? Well, your official home of the Carolina Panthers, we have you covered here. Here's how you can win a family pack of 4 tickets to the upcoming game against the Denver Broncos. All you have to do is answer the questions in our trivia contest. It's up right now on our website, WFMYnews2.com. Just look for the story on our homepage. You can enter by signing in either with your Facebook account or your email and just filling in some additional information. A winner will randomly be selected and the tickets will be sent your way digitally. The trivia contest, by the way, closes this Friday at 6 o'clock, and we'll announce the winner that night on WFMY News 2 at 11. Again, this is for 4 tickets to the Broncos versus the Panthers game on November 27th. We'll be back.
Kayana, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You've probably heard about the amoxicillin shortage right now. The FDA says the version used for children is in short supply. It's the liquid type that's been in a shortage for 2 weeks, but the FDA just listed it in its drug shortage database. Health leaders say there is just not enough to meet demand. It's not clear when or how the problem will be fixed.
Bacterial infections aren't the only concerns top of mind right now. Doctors are also seeing an increase in flu cases. There's now new CDC maps tracking infection rates. And as WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey reports, North Carolina has some of the highest numbers.
Yeah, guys, you see this map right here. This is from the CDC. In the lighter colors, they show lower flu transmission. Now, the darker colors you see here, That indicates higher infection rates. And as you can see on your screen now, here in North Carolina, we are in the very high category. And according to Dr. David Priest from Novant Health, he says they've been seeing higher flu numbers compared to the last 2 years.
According to the CDC, weekly influenza activity across North Carolina is high. It's very high in some of our neighboring states. We recently saw our first influenza death in the state of North Carolina. In Novant Health, we're seeing a much higher number of flu cases compared to the last couple of years.
Here in Greensboro at the Adler Family Pharmacy, they stress the importance of maintaining proper hand hygiene as well as getting the flu vaccine.
Try not to come too close to other people, particularly if they are coughing or if they are sneezing, and then keep your hands washed every time with soap and warm water. Also make sure that you have alcohol by your side to clean your work surface. And if you have these symptoms, try and stay away from other people too, because it spreads very fast.
According to the CDC, the most effective way to prevent catching the flu is to get your flu vaccine.
Jalen, thank you. Health experts say it's safe to get a COVID booster and the flu shot at the same time. They actually recommend it. Doctors say kids 5 and older should get a flu shot and COVID booster right now. If you want protection for the holidays, get it as soon as possible. The vaccine takes 2 weeks to take full effect. For additional information on where you can get boosted, head to our website, WFMYnews2.com.
All eyes on Nicole as it continues to spin out there in the Atlantic. This is a look at the visible satellite where you're able to see that cloud cover as this really impressive tropical storm continues to organize itself, and all eyes are going to continue to watch how it moves over the next several days, especially folks down in Florida, as this storm is expected to strengthen to a hurricane, Category 1 hurricane, impacting the southern portions there of Florida by Thursday, moving inland and continuing to take a track further north. Now, this has moved more westward. We saw this over the weekend, tracking kind of along the coast, it looked like, but now things are shifting inland. But as we know with weather, things are always ever changing, and we could see that track take another shift. The big story for us is the rain starts Thursday, continues through Friday, and then ends by Saturday. That's been the consistent story we're seeing, and hopefully it sticks that way, but things can change. So your Thursday evening, that's when the rain starts and then continues throughout the day on Friday, and then clearing out by Saturday, making for drier weather Saturday. So again, Thursday night into Saturday morning, rain total estimates upwards of 2 inches in the mountains, upwards of 3 or maybe even 4. Wind gusts directly related with Nicole will be around 30 miles per hour, maybe even greater than that. We're seeing strong wind gusts all week long, but again, associated with Nicole, we could get some even stronger gusts. This is a Weather Prediction Center estimating upwards of almost 2 inches of rainfall across the central Piedmont, with greater totals along the coast. Here's a look at your full 7-day with temperatures very warm for your Friday. And I mean, it's going to be a humid day as well, with that tropical system moving into the area. We get that tropical rain and humidity. Now, yesterday, we were not only talking about Nicole, but also the lunar eclipse. So did you wake up early enough to catch it? It will be the last one we see in the next 3 years. If you didn't, here's some photos. So that red round circle high in the sky, that's what folks were taking clips of all night long, posting them all across social media. These gorgeous red hues, all with the eclipse. Now, this moon is called the blood moon since it's red, but why is it red? Well, the Earth's atmosphere disperses sunlight, allowing red, orange, and yellow light to pass through, but scattering away the blue. So that's the only reason why you're seeing that reddish hue color. So these are some amazing shots. Shout out to Jay Capers, one of our photographers, who took this gorgeous shot.
That's a great one.
The total eclipse lasted about an hour and a half. Folks in North America, Central America, western regions of Venezuela, Peru, as well as Asia, Australia, everybody got to see it. The Earth passed directly between the moon and sun for about an hour and a half. The next one won't be until right around my birthday in 2025, March 14, 2025.
Wow, those photos are absolutely beautiful,
I've seen
especially the
some
one
really,
Jay took.
really good ones. I mean, you know, it's hard to do that with just like a phone.
Right.
But if you've got a nice camera, there are some really nice ones out there.
Now those night sight on the cameras, on your cell phone cameras, the new versions, you can get great shots.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen? We have out behind our station, we have these huge cables that hold our tower up.
Yeah.
And they're, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
He knows where I'm going. And there are these big orange spheres that are on there so that planes can see it or anything. But it looks like a giant red moon. And if you're new to the station, people play tricks on brand new people. They say, "Look at that! It's like a UFO." And people go out, they're taking pictures.
Wow.
It happened to me. I was
you
tricked.
fell for it?
Grant Gilmore got me. But fortunately, I wasn't too gullible. But yes, I was.
It looks like that.
Wow,
though.
that's crazy.
Looks like the moon's huge and red, like constantly.
The beautiful thing when you walk out of here, when you're like right around 6 p.m., you get a great shot of the sunset from like the trees over there. So sometimes when you leave out of work, you can see that.
That is true.
Not at 6:15 anymore, huh?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, now.
Maybe like 4:30 right now.
That's a great picture Jay took there. All right, take a look at that.
Absolutely gorgeous.
We'll take a break and be back.
1, 2, 3. The State Board of Elections is looking into more than a dozen.
Oh, hello, hello, weatherman on election day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hello. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3.
You can. I thought I was in the B block, but yes, you can. Absolutely. Ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. I'm now going to check. Okay.
Jonathan and Sarah Starr now face new charges, including felony negligent child abuse.
And he doesn't have anybody. Like, he still doesn't have anybody. I mean, I know the guy.
Yeah, Kevin is putting in his IFB, but this is a mic check from Sean. Hopefully nothing happens and I have to take over the coverage.
Hoover, Roosevelt, Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush.
Well, it's time for my 2 cents, and of course, happy Election Day. Hopefully you've already voted. If not, you still have a little bit of time. Here's the bottom line. I wanted to talk about kids and our family and how important it is for us to teach our kids the power of voting and really our civic duty to vote, right? Exercise your right, exercise your voice. So HarperCollins, the famous publisher, their website had a cool little thing, 5 ways to teach your kids the importance of voting. One thing, be a model voter. Kids do as they see, and if they watch you put priority on voting, I think that's very important. They need to see you doing this. Number 2, demonstrate democracy in the house, meaning something simple, like maybe we hold a vote for which dessert they want for that night at dinner. I can see everyone sitting around the dinner table casting their little votes, and then they understand that everybody gets a say. Now, they also recommended a book, which I thumbed through, and I thought this is really cool. It's called Everyone Gets a Say, and it just teaches kids the importance of voting. You start this small, right, and then it grows as they get older. Number 4, talk about the current issues, age appropriate, of course. Don't bring too much of some of the stuff that's going on in our crazy world right now to those little ones, but talk about some issues that maybe you can talk about so that they feel vested, they feel like they're a part of it, and they feel like they kind of understand. And then here's a big one, and I think this is for life, not just voting. Teach kids that it's okay to respectfully disagree with someone. I have some of my best friends, and we're on total opposites of the political spectrum. They're still my best friends. You know, that's what matters. We all you have to do is say, here's what I believe, here's what you believe, we disagree. Now let's go have fun together and hang out, right? Because really, when it comes down to it, the biggest power we have is the power to flip that switch in the voting booth. So teach your kids that power, and happy Election Day. And that's just my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
The November midterm election is here. It's the day many Americans have been waiting for, a chance to make sure your voice is heard.
Polls close in less than 3 hours, so if you haven't voted yet, you still have time for that. And more than 2 million North Carolinians voted absentee, but the in-person turnout